Now we're live. Oh my lord, we were having such a good conversation. No wonder why the commands weren't going through. We played the intro, so we're gonna redo.
All right,
All
sounds
right.
good.
Good morning. We were just talking like we were live, having a blast in the background, having some good conversation going on. And I always notice is my commands isn't working, and James says, "Uh-oh," and Prime's like, I'm like, "What's going on?" And I realize instead we're still scheduled, but there's no time left. I thought I hit the live button. I'm sorry, fellas.
No problem.
All right,
That was
yeah.
hilarious, though.
It is a hilarious step. It happens. We have Hillbilly here and a special guest with the Balt's Apprentice. Hello. You sound as you just muted. Tabalt. You're muted. Did you hit the mute button?
Hold on. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, there we go.
Yay. Woo. All right, we're good. I mean, we were just having a great conversation about how Tabalt Apprentice started his channel, how he used to do horror covered topics, like horror film topics and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. I can't really go through there.
Yeah.
What's up? But like, and we were talking about, man, how Tabalt has made some good videos,
So
puts
I
a lot of
find
quality
a way
in
to
his
shut
videos.
this down so I'm not getting the repeat back here.
Right? You're good.
Me and Tim Boss, we've been friends for a while.
Yeah. And man, our conversation was so nice and so casual, so going. Tortoise is a derp. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I thought he was live.
Well, I thought we was live too. But no, we got James Willis. We got Prime 406. We got D. Lawson. Your package is on its way, D. Lawson. Welcome. Yeah. So Depault's Apprentice, while he's figuring things out on his side, and he's doing pretty good. Trust me, he's doing really good. He has a really fun channel. He covers arena content. Excuse me. He covers arena content. He makes videos using good graphics, green screen effects, and has good points to his videos. He has good talking subjects going on when it comes to some of his videos. Really good quality, and I appreciate that. That's one of the things I admire about his channel the most is how good quality his videos are put together. And so, if you haven't, you should check his link out and subscribe to his channel to see his future content. Yes. And trying to recover and recap. Maybe we'll get back to some of the stuff we can talk about. But the title of the episode is called Accidental Professionals, meaning how do we become YouTubers and why are we accidental professionals? And there's a lot to cover there, but nothing too heavy. A coffee cup that has a very nice icon on it, an iconic person on it. And I think it's awesome. There's a little backstory to that. So if we can start there and recap that, that'd be nice. Preacher, you're always lurking in the background. Darc, yes. Darc Raven is the official sponsor of this channel through our Karn's Artopia. She makes good magic swag, dice bags, dice boxes. She makes little ornaments. She makes counters. She makes dice pets, which eventually I'm going to have to get a dice pet for sure. And I don't know if that's what she calls them, but they're like little dragons that hold your dice. I think a cute name for them is dice pets. So if you want to see what she has going on to offer on her shop, check out cardsartopia.com. Thank you for being our sponsor. You rock. Hello, Coogee Dude. You know, if you were on the channel, Coogee Dude, there'd be 3 bald men with beards. Why didn't you come on? Set your camera up, Dad. Dice Dragons, call them Dice Dragons. That's a neat name. Hello. All right. I feel like I could recap as much as I could recap there to bring everybody up to speed.
All right.
Richie says, I thought yesterday we weren't professionals. Must have been one hell of a night. Right? All right. Ooh, man. So, Tybalt Apprentice, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm trying to reply to one of these echoes. I'm not sure which one.
We don't hear an echo. It might just be your headset.
Yeah, it's my headset. So
Yeah.
I've got about 8 different streams going on, it sounds like. So I'm not sure.
Ooh. I wonder what is like my microphone, if you can see it here.
Uh-huh.
It has a jack to have headsets plugged into it, and every time I plug headsets into it, I get this weird echo.
Ah.
I don't know why, and it's only me that hears it. Breathing is important. That's right. Meta Monk, greetings to you. You guys all rock. Thank you for hitting that like button. Thank you for being amazing. Thank you for subscribing, people who are new to the channel. You know.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Hillbilly. So, accidental professionals, right? So this is what I was getting into, and trust me, we were so well into a good conversation when we realized that Tortoise messed up. Accidental professionals, meaning what are the things and cues we get into when we get into YouTube, and what are the contracts that we make with ourselves? And starting to get on a really good topic of some matter, and he was getting into some good descriptive terminology when we realized Tortoise wasn't live. My mistake. That's why I felt so bad too, is because we were heated and going, like boom, the motor was going.
Yeah, it was.
TCG dude, morning. But one of the things that Tybalt was covering, and I like to recover some of what I can, is that we kind of become professionals in our own right when we start producing videos, getting into the videos, having fun with the videos, and start progressing to do better with the videos.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he was covering that notion that we are professionals in a way that it starts as a hobby and it just falls into a line of, well, we can make money on the side by doing this, or we could just be better and get fame out of it, or we end up loving it more as a job. We love it more as a job that we do because we put so much effort and responsibility into what we do. And I keep looking to the left. I'm sorry, or to the right. My mic's right here. I should talk into the mic right here. Man, but the coffee today, for those who might be asking, is nice, delicious. It's hot. It's chocolatey.
I can't wait till I can get and drink some dang gone coffee, dag blaggett.
I'm waiting for the doctors to call you and say, hey, we're ready to cut you open and fix this up.
Really?
Even though it's not exactly how it's going to go down, but yes.
Ooh.
The Tybalt will be back.
Yeah.
All right. I believe in you. All right. But what does it mean to be accidental professionals? And accidental professionals, you know, like hobbyists, you start as a hobby and you get really into it and it becomes more progressive and better for you. Like me, like as soon as I made a schedule for myself, like today we got this show, and later on we got the Prime Tortoise at 4:30 CDT, Iowa Standard Time.
Nice.
And And since we have scheduled shows, that kind of makes us professional because we make a commitment to be there.
You want to talk about professional? I'll tell you right now, we got a professional right here in chat right now.
Professional wrestler?
Nope. Darc. He's a professional artist. Mike is a professional YouTuber. PCU
Right.
dude, professional YouTuber.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, we're all Richie Dubs. He's a professional YouTuber.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're not saying
Prime is a professional.
We're not saying being professional means you have all the best equipment and you have the highest quality compared to like very corporate videos going on.
Right.
You know, it's not, but like when it comes to being professional, we're talking about when you decide to make a commitment to do your channel, have a time frame to do your channel, when you start putting effort into your channel and start enjoying it more than more than just a hobby as a channel, that's when you start getting to professional. And really quick, I want to welcome a very, very good friend, Stasis Orb.
What's up?
What up? How's it going?
Going on? You look like you're ready for a good time to take a bath, relax, eat some breakfast. I'm kidding. We can't see your face. How are you doing?
Logo shows. I'm doing all right. I just actually got done with I guess brunch. A good way to put it, but yep. And then figured I'd hop in and chat away.
Chat away. So while the ball's figuring out what's going on, he's good. No hard feelings. This is how we learn. Stasis Orb.
Yes, sir.
Is the closest thing to a professional Magic round. Like I've met Stasis Orb, we used to be really good friends, and he used to play Magic professionally.
We were roommates for a long time.
We were roommates, but I'm just saying professional.
Sure,
but we weren't professional roommates. All right, we were just roommates. I
was getting ready to ask that.
but like the reason why I bring up the professional Magic player thing is because Magic was just a hobby for him and I, and he decided to take a step further because he enjoyed the game a lot, and it started banking for him a little. You know, not only did he get to go to professional events, he started winning big prizes, and some of it kind of paid his way. Some of it.
Nice.
I mean, back then the dream for us as new Magic players was we can go to the tournaments and live off the grind. even though we didn't know the whole story how it worked, but you know, living off the grind, playing Magic professionally seemed like a dream come true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was it was a journey. It really was. I did it for about it's about 5 years, and it even continued after we left Utah. But it was fun for a while it lasted. You know, I got to go to tournaments, as you know, I've won. I've never came close to day 2ing, but I won enough, like because there's like side events and stuff like that you can go do, and you can make a lot of money doing that. A lot of people actually do that, or they just go to a GP just to play in side events. But I have a handful of pros that I've played against and beat. Same as I've been beaten by them before, but as well. But I will say though, one of the biggest flaws or one of the issues that I had after I was done and was like, I don't want to play competitive anymore. I'm just kind of done. The game was just never like back to the same. Now it's like every time I play Magic or play limited, I do limited a lot. The game is still like super serious, and I build, you know, as best like you just don't look at it as a casual player anymore, and that's completely left the scene. I can't put, because when you get to that point, you kind of realize what cards do. So you just automatically know what cards are bad and what cards are good. And it's really hard to change your outlook when someone shows you a card and like, oh, this card's insane. And you're like, nah, it's okay. It's not great. But like, you don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. You want to, or at least I know, I just want to be humble about it, you know? And there are so many people, especially in the newer community, that look at a card and like, oh, this is insane. Like Hornets, for example, like nobody think the card is terrible. I've died to it though, but like someone would look at that and be like, it's green burn, it's a burn spell for green, and you're just like, yeah, but only does 1 damage for 1. But
you're like, it's so terrible.
But you try not to upset anybody, or you know, it's hard to do sometimes. So
well, welcome back, bud. You're muted.
Yep. No audio.
I can't hear you.
We're experiencing some technical difficulties here. Please hang in.
Right.
Yep.
He's learning how to do this live thing, so we're just gonna let him do it and play around, because that's the way we learn. And if he doesn't get to learn, he won't be able to do it better in the future.
It's true. Very, very true.
You know, it's like playing Magic the Gathering. If you don't get those games in and play a lot, you don't get better.
Right.
So, like, one thing I want to bring up that shares between Magic and YouTube and becoming better is like how I just mentioned, you know, the more you play, the more you get around, and the more you practice and get better. You know, people have to get into the groove to want to do better, right? To be accidental professionals. Accidental professionals. Like, accidental meaning you progress to a point where you feel you're good. Like Andrew was just saying that, you know, there's a certain point in the game of Magic that you start looking at cards and you know which ones are just jank right away, and you know what kind of cards you want in your deck because they're the best performers no matter how you look at it. Like a good kill spell is a good kill spell, and a bad creature is a bad creature no matter what text is on it. You know. So with YouTube, it kind of comes the same route, that as you get better, you start realizing what's bad for you, and you know what's good for you, and you start honing in on those tactics. Like when you get a sweet sponsorship, you take up on that action. You know you've progressed, and now you know you want to do more with it. Hello. You are still muted. Yeah, it's on your mic. Like your mic is muted. Yeah. I don't know, but don't worry. Don't feel bad. This is how we learn, okay, bud? All right. So out of personal experience, like I don't think Hillbilly looks at himself as a professional. He said that yesterday. He's like, no, I'm not a professional. I'm too good looking, and people would jump on the boat. Right?
Yeah, clearly.
Right. And but he does his streams twice a day, every day. You know, and he promises people that. Then he brings a certain quality to his streams. Like, he promises pretty much not to swear on his stream.
Yep.
Right? Then he also has a sponsorship right now. Right?
Yep, I sure do. I'm just waiting on my product to get to me. The way I can show the product off and introduce the sponsorship.
Right? So that's a sign of being a professional YouTuber there. I mean, you have a sponsorship, you have good graphics, and you keep the show lively, you have a schedule you attend to, It's a little more than just a hobby now. And yeah.
Oh Lord, here we go talking about food, dag-legged.
You find a recipe of ranch mashed potatoes. Yep. Mashed potatoes. Why don't you make a YouTube video of that, Darc, and post it up?
Yeah.
Become a professional YouTuber. And the point of the subject is not to talk about like how professional quality are, because look, I'm not no major professional, but it's a good way to start thinking about yourself as a channel. Like, cause for instance, Stasis Orb is thinking about possibly doing a future YouTube channel.
Nice.
Right?
Yeah. Somewhere down the line for sure.
Right. He wants to do a podcast show exactly at 11 a.m. CDT Iowa time. He wants to compete with the Tortoise. No, I'm kidding. I'm making that up.
Well, if you do Stasis Orb, I'll be one of your subscribers.
I appreciate that.
But really, like, Andrew has enough backstory, enough knowledge of the game that he could carry the show by himself. Like, he wants to do a podcast, talk about things. I don't know if he plans on having guests or not. Maybe he'll have guests every once in a while, but he wants to do his own thing, which is awesome. And once he starts getting into it, it's going to start as a hobby. Because when you start, you're promising no one anything. And when you start getting bigger, you start promising, hey, I'm going to be here every day, or I'm going to do this these days exactly at this time.
Yep.
So like my wife wants to start a YouTube channel. She has a YouTube channel, but she wants to start a video, and it keeps get pushed a week ahead. Like, we were supposed to get some things printed off this week, but it rained and she was feeling sick, so we didn't do anything about it. So next week she plans on getting printed stuff printed off. And these are like games. And by getting stuff printed off, we're going to go to the FedEx office here and get pieces printed off because she wants to look professional. And I'm trying to get her to get on the mindset of, hey, you haven't posted up a single video yet of what you want to do. Says, you're not promising anybody anything, and you have to get comfortable with the camera. Like, she's not going to be like this where we're facing the camera. She's going to have it where you see your hands facing down like you're playing Magic on spell table. And she's going to be doing stuff like that. She even got a nice new little camera to work for it, so it doesn't glitch as much when we're recording. Yeah. It's a webcam, a 4K webcam that she got for really cheap. Guess she got it during the Labor Day sale.
Cool.
Yeah, Stasis Orb knows all the juicy secrets of super fast Tortoise when he's younger, delinquent Tortoise. Yep. Well, Stasis Orb was part of it too. Like,
yep.
Like, I probably got Stasis Orb more trouble than his poor soul deserved. Like getting his gold card ripped away the day he got it.
We don't talk about bad things.
It was all because we missed a freaking bus. Oh man, Lord. But like,
yeah, we were on our way to the bus stop to get back to campus, and then we watched it just go right by.
Right? It was horrible. Horrible. Oh man, like, I still feel bad about that today.
Yes, Darc, and the muffin story.
And the muffin story.
It's one of my favorites. It will always be one of my favorites. It's so freaking funny.
Right?
The day the muffins almost killed us.
Yeah. The day the muffin almost killed. Do you know the Muffin Man? I really suck at the high pitched voice.
Do you know the Muffin Man? Do you know the Muffin Man?
Yeah, I need to seriously clip that part out of the movie. Just because it's the muffin story. But like, Stasis Orb and I used to, like, we didn't drive for the longest time. Like, I still don't drive, and I think Andrew drives now. But we used to walk everywhere in town, and the day Andrew got a bike and he decided to go on a massive ride, he got lost on the west end of Ogden, which is the darkest end of Ogden.
Yeah, literally nothing out there. There's like a couple of factories. I had no idea where I was.
That was horrible. like I was barefoot. I was stupid for going barefoot, but I went barefoot and we walked all the way up to 12th Street of Ogden because I told you just to keep going straight and you should find us 12th Street. And that's ended up happening. And we've met up and we were too broke to go anywhere to eat to the restaurants around there. So we had to walk home starving.
Just to have an idea of how far this journey was, because I had like I thought I was going back like towards the way I was coming, but apparently there's like a little fork in one of the roads that like veered me off completely, so I ended up going down a completely different road, and I'm like, okay, I'm officially lost. And I tried to backtrack and it got me even more lost. And it's like probably at this time it had to be around like 11 to midnight, somewhere in that ballpark. And I'm starting to get concerned, so I'm just riding my bike and I kept going. And I was like, okay, I'm actually lost. I need to call Derek because he knows this area. And it took for us to finally meet up. It was probably about 6:30 in the morning. The sun was up and everything. Like I was so far out there. I was like, oh my God, I didn't even know I was this far. But then yeah, we stopped by a gas station. We ordered a couple of sodas, but then we were just headed back home. But that was a wild experience.
It was
very crazy.
Oh man, it was a wild experience. Wild child. Look
get
at
a-
Andrew going crazy.
I got a story kind of like that.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Does it
All right,
involve
I'm
whiskey?
from,
Does it involve whiskey?
nah,
Oh, okay.
I'm from Bowling Green, Kentucky. That's where I'm at. Well, got me a car, went driving, went out in the country. I went up this one road, and here it was at nighttime too. I had to pull over and ask somebody, how do you get back to Bowling Green? I could not find my way. Tried to backtrack. Seen the Mennonites, and I'm like, where am I? Come to find out, all I had to do is just keep going straight.
Oh wow. Oh, that's crazy.
You knew they were
Crazy.
laughing their hind ends off at me.
Just had to keep going straight. Well, that's a good story though. You find out you had to keep going straight.
And the bad part about it is, I'm from here.
Well, see, where we lived in Ogden, it was not hard to get lost in most of the city because you have this large Mormon temple in the middle of the city with this ginormous.
There's lots of landmarks. Yeah, Ogden's not a very easy place to get lost, but where I was on the far end where like there's no residential. There's like just like there's a Coca-Cola factory out there. There's that's kind of it. And the rest is just flat land of just like small businesses, but there's no like public places. Like there's no gas stations. There's no like fast food joints or anything. Like there's literally nothing out there, and it was just wild. I was like, I don't know where I'm at.
Well, yeah, and it's very industrial back there. That's the term. It's a very industrial part of Ogden.
Yeah.
Well, where I was, there wasn't nothing but it was out in the country. I mean, it was nothing but country land. I mean,
All right.
you had a house here, maybe a mile down the road, you had another house, and luckily I seen somebody walking in the house, and that's when I pulled over into their driveway and asked where I was.
We're trying to see. Can we hear you?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yep,
Finally,
got audio.
okay.
Nice,
Awesome.
nice, and that's awesome. Did you get your echoing thing fixed?
Yes, finally I can hear you, and I'm on track, and I have no idea what I did to fix it, but a lot of times that's how it happens. I just kind of stumble on a solution.
Hey, that's how it works.
Indeed.
And that's awesome. I'm so glad. I mean, I would have just been so disappointed if you just gave up, honestly.
No, I'm not about giving up, unfortunately. I'm still playing Magic after 30 years. I should have given up by now if I was smart.
All right. So we were just reminiscing about stupid stuff Stasis Orb and I did growing up because we were stupid. Well, I was stupid.
Before the internet and everybody put it on the online and you get in trouble for it.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't that kind of troublemaker. Maybe
Oh,
when in my youth I was like my youth, like
Gotcha.
before I reached 20. But no, I met Andrew when I was 20 years old at Job Corps, and we became really good friends. Like our friendship started in the most random way. So we have dorm rooms, and he was the only guy who sat in his dorm room playing video games, and he'd be playing Midnight Club Dub Edition, this car game where you
Mhm.
just kind of build cards, race around. And I just walked in the room one day and I'm like, we're going to be friends, pretty much, was the mindset. And I just sat down and started watching him play games and chilling with him while he just played video games. I just watched him drive and we talking bullshit.
Yeah, it's kind of how it all started. It just
Yeah,
indeed.
then just started hanging out, and then a few other friends came out of it, and we, I don't know. It was very weird. As a matter of fact, it was really crazy because when you graduate Job Corps, you they try to help you transition out because they were going to send me back home, but I didn't have a home at the time, so they were like, oh well, then we need to find you a place out here and find you work. So we went and did a couple of job interviews with a couple of the companies that they usually have some sort of affiliation with or whatever. So I ended up getting a job at a Village Inn when I transitioned out, and I needed a place to stay. So we're driving around, and I think I saw Darc. I think that's what happened. Is I saw Darc walking about, and I stopped him for a second. I was like, Darc, dude, like, what are you doing? And he was like, yeah, I live out here. And we had another roommate at the time named Martin. And he was living with him after they both graduated, because they both graduated or transitioned out before
nearly the same day.
Yeah, it was a little bit afterwards I graduated, because I was supposed to stay there for that summer, but then they decided to transition me out instead of letting me stay for the summer.
Right.
So during summer break, I was basically doing all the transitioning, and then I ran into Darc, and then I was like, yeah, now I'm trying to find a place to stay, and he's all like, dude, we have an extra room. I think we can probably have you come in. So then, like, yeah, then just led up to that, and then I moved in with Darc, and then we're all roommates.
Yeah.
Working at Village Inn.
We're
I
working
think
at the Village Inn.
And you were working at Texas Roadhouse, weren't you?
Yeah, at that time.
Yeah. You and Martin.
Yeah. Well, we don't
And-
talk about Martin anymore.
Yeah, no.
So how did you guys get into playing Magic?
So we were.
Go
Oh,
ahead.
you can take over.
Okay, sure. So I used to play a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! In like my freshman year of high school, and then a group of friends that were with the friends that played Yu-Gi-Oh! Also played Magic, and everyone kept telling me, you need to quit playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Magic's better. And I was just like, well, why can't I play both? And they were like,
Sure.
yeah, like, if I enjoy both, why can't I play both? But it was a very big thing back and forth for a while. But then I'm like, okay, I'll try playing Magic. So I went out and bought a bunch of like basic cheap cards. Like I said, my first deck was a Thallid deck, and so I built this Thallid deck, and it was cool. It was fun, whatever. It was fun to play with my friends, stuff like that. But I started getting into it a little bit more, and I'm just like, oh, so this is like, because the art style was completely different. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is
Right.
all about like that animation,
Right.
whatever, and Magic's more on like creatures and stuff like that, which is really
Right.
cool. Like,
I was gonna say, actually, back in that day, if you were playing Thallids, the artwork was kind of random in some cases.
yeah, it really was. Yeah, the pictures were kind of terrifying too.
Yeah.
Some of those Thallids looked very, very disturbed.
Very much.
But yeah, I was building. It was a really cool deck. It would just go wide, and then if I could kill you with a bunch of 1/1s, I could kill you with a bunch of 1/1s. And then if you played Pyroclasm, I cried. But it was, and then at that point, we started like that group of friends. I started leaving the Yu-Gi-Oh community and started
Mhm.
getting into the Magic community because I realized I liked the game actually a lot more because it kind of reminded me of like strategic playing, and I like strategy games. I'm a huge chess lover. I love chess to pieces, but no pun intended. But it was like a game that you could play in card form, and it was like, oh, this is kind of cool. Like I like this a lot, and so that's where it all kind of started. And I went and built my first like random 5-colored deck because I had a friend gave me a chromat, and I was
Ooh.
like, I want to play this card. So I had like 5 of each basic land or something, or 6 of each basic land. I had no dual lands because I just didn't
Sure.
know how to obtain those, and I played on a very casual standing. But yeah, that's kind of how it how it formed. And then I quit playing after I graduated high school. Well, I didn't technically graduate. I went and got my GED, but after I left high
Trying to
school,
get
I
back.
stopped playing. So I took like a 2-3 year break. I went to Job Corps, and Darc and I became friends, and Darc started playing Magic. Well, he was already there playing Magic, and he was like, yeah, we play Magic. I was like, oh, I used to play Magic like years ago. And he was like, yeah, you should get back into it. And I was just like, sure, I don't have anything else going on. I mean, if you guys have a lot, and they had a decent Magic group at Job Corps. So and I just got back into it, and then everything just kind of unfolded from there.
Nice.
That's kind of
When we got into Magic, it was a weird time for Magic itself. Like, because Mirrodin just came out. Like, yeah, and it was like the set that was breaking the game. The game was going to end because of the set.
Right.
And and Andrew, knowing some of the cards, got us into like the legacy area of cards, like the old cards that people were wanting to play, and like knew more about the set. So we started building decks because at this time there was like no real standard format that we knew of, and everybody was building from all the cards that existed.
Yeah.
And so we would go there. Then we learned a little bit more about standard, but Stasis Orb learned about a Tinker deck. Like, I think this was one of the defining moments in Stasis Orb's Magic moments is he built his Tinker deck that won by turn 2, basically.
Oh,
Well,
sometimes.
Right.
It just depends. Yeah, it was if I got
if you get that draw, you
Lotus
get that
Petal
card draw.
Tinker, yeah, and I used all the artifact lands.
Right. But
before
what
they
really
were all banned.
But what really drew me in the game is when Ravnica came out. Like, we were heavy Magic players now, but Ravnica came out, and we loved the multicolored aesthetic of sets. That here, Andrew and I would buy boxes and open up boxes to get cards for decks and build decks, and we ended up like there's a point where we ended up with so much product for like a dormitory that we just started building decks for people and selling decks on on campus. So like, here, $20, get you a deck.
Okay.
Yeah,
the original pre-cons, huh?
Right, pretty much. We build them straight out of the box.
You were the guys making them, though. That's cool.
Yeah,
pretty much. And we did that for a lot of people that wanted to play the game.
Mm-hmm.
We were like, they were like, man, I really would like to play Magic. I would like a help building a deck or whatever. And Darc and I, we had tons of just side cards, and we just made all these like cool little random little decks, 60 card decks, constructed decks, and like, here's a base. We'll give them a base to work with, and be like, now you can just improve it as time goes. Get new cards and replace old cards. And
because Wizard starter decks were never that strong. Not until they started doing, I want to say, challenger decks, where they actually put the effort into it and put the cards into it.
Oh, and they start making
starter decks were kind of janky.
Right.
What about you, Hillbilly? When did you start playing on paper?
Back in I was homeless when I first started playing Magic.
Okay.
I mean, I've heard of Magic, and but I've never gotten into it. I was into Yu-Gi-Oh.
Oh, okay.
And anyway, I was homeless. Met another guy from Kentucky. I was in Huntington, West Virginia, living there.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, he taught he taught me how, him and another buddy taught me how to play. He's playing
Nice.
Three-Headed Giants.
Okay.
And that's how I learned how to. And they taught me. I mean, they whip my butt all the time, but you know, it's something new.
Right.
Love the art on it, and this was back in 2000, early part of 2016.
Okay.
And
So I
my
was
first
gonna say-
my first pre-release was Kaladesh.
Oh, okay.
Kill a dash.
Yep.
Darc Raven says she got into Magic during college back in Meriden Block as well.
Hmm.
How did you get into Magic, Tybalt?
So I went to a store where they were playing. It was near UCLA. There was a game store that I used to visit all the time because I was doing all kinds of role playing games. And I went in there, and there were two guys playing Magic right there at the counter, and they did just a horrible job explaining it to me. They
Mhm.
said, "So yeah, you're a wizard, and you make your deck, and you play against each other." Like, well, that sounds super lame. So some time passed, and I worked in a photo lab at that point. So somebody approached me in the photo lab, and a guy came up to me. He's like, "Do you have any Magic cards you want to trade or anything?" I'm like, what is that stuff? I don't even know. Like, I've heard about it. These guys told me about it once, but I don't know." And so he took the time to actually explain you had to build a deck, you had these creatures, you chose a type of thing that you wanted to do with it, and actually took the time to explain it. And within a week, I was completely hooked. And like, Keljarn Warlord, I think, was one of the big cards that I got, that I traded away or whatever and stuff, because he liked it, because it added, all the creatures added to his power and toughness. I think that was the card or whatever, but that got me actually into it. Somebody actually taking the time to explain it and show what the cards do, and a little bit talking through more than just saying, "Oh, it's," because I mean, that was terrible for a store owner to just say, "Oh yeah, we just make these decks, we fight against each other." Like, well,
Mhm.
but once
Very,
I had
very
heard that,
lame.
yeah, once I heard a little bit of an explanation to it, and that's why it's always been, since then, anybody that shows any kind of interest, and probably some people that don't show interest, I still talk about Magic and explain it, and I try to lay it out for them. First of all, giving people,
Ooh, look at that face.
hey, there's Stasis Orb. So like, sometimes I would start like with a green Stompy deck or red deck wins. Like, those are the two basic go-to decks to start with. And from there, I talk to people and see what they like to do and how they like to play. And usually that gets them into it. At this point, I almost feel guilty and stuff because of how much the cards cost and stuff these days. But that was how I got into it and stuff. And my wife at the time, um, she was into it a little bit, but then didn't go as deep as myself and my friends or whatever. So, but yeah, that's been a lot of years. That was back in Revised. So I got the original Legends when they came out. I got absolutely burned on Fallen Empires. As a matter of fact, I probably this past year I got rid of my last box, but I had bought like 25 boxes of them and stuff and so on. So
Ooh, wow.
it's been up and down. I got out for a number of years. The last time that I got back in was Mirrodin Besieged. Was when I got back into it, and I've
Mhm.
been going strong ever since then. Because then, of course,
Nice.
after that was Commander and so on and so forth. But Revised was right where I began.
Right. Hell yeah, that's a good time. My favorite Soul Rings Revised. That's because it's a cheaper old version.
Yeah.
But man, look, we see Stasis Orb's pretty face.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big
Gets
step. You
interesting.
know,
Sorry, that's our puppy. His name's Gunner, and he's a healer, and he is full of energy and wants attention all the time.
right?
Cool.
Nice.
That's like
Yeah.
my two dogs. Always wanting attention.
All right. Now, if
Gotta
I
love 'em,
lose,
though.
if I lose subscribers because of Stasis Orb's face, I'm sorry, people.
Yeah, sorry, I don't want to offend anybody.
I kid him. We love him. He's awesome. It just shocked me when he actually switched the screen over. I'm like, I wasn't expecting that. So what made you what made you try doing the face cam?
Just because that felt left out. I don't know. I need to get set up. Oh,
So do
someone
you guys find the
prime missed the
magic?
puppy, huh?
Do you guys
The internet.
There we go.
Hold on a second. Let it catch up.
All right, there we go. Here he is.
Falter. Oh, there we go.
Puppers. That was it. That's the internet doing it. So are you good?
Oh,
Yeah. All right. So, man.
community pretty accepting. Whoop.
Yeah. Yay, puppers! I miss the pupper. Yep, before Prime 406 games, there was a puppers on screen. Next time that pupper shows up, I'll blow up Andrew so you can get all the pupper love you want.
Yeah. Yep. Now he's barking. All right.
Boo-boo.
Sorry, I didn't mean to distract everybody with the pupper.
No, you're good. Pictures and shots of animals are never a bad thing.
Never.
For sure.
Yeah.
This is Tipsy.
Yeah, gypsy, little black puppers. That's probably the one that steals a soul right there. Look. Hillbilly's life is being drained of cuteness.
She is a lot more calm than my puppy. I'll tell you that right now.
Oh man, so he gets on my nerves sometimes. He's like yapping.
My cat's just going insane when, like, my cat just literally just did like a backflip running onto the couch. I don't understand cats. I just know I take them from the most comfortable position they can be in, and I make them uncomfortable and give them attention that they don't want.
Nice.
It's called reinforcing love. Let them know that they're loved when they don't want to be remembered or reminded of how much they're loved. Because
Nice.
cats are annoying, but they're cute when they're sleeping or when they want to cuddle.
Yeah.
Dogs just want attention all the time. Like the only reason why I don't want a dog is I don't want to take an animal outside in the winter.
Yeah, they definitely need their. Yep. After this, I'm actually gonna take the dogs out on a walk. Yep.
Right. But yeah, so what we need to do in the future, because we're all accidental professionals, right? What we need to do in the future is we need to take a time to come up with a subject that goes around you guys, like Tybalt. I love having you here, and you know what? It's been awesome seeing how you're working on your issues. Like some people are like, "Don't come on my show unless you know it's going to work." Well, fuck that. People don't know how everything works. They don't know all the problems are going to happen until they go live.
Right.
Yeah. You got to let yourself the room to grow and stuff.
Right.
If you waited to be a professional or you waited to do this stuff, you'll never get started. So the best way to do any of this stuff is to jump in feet first and trial and error, trial by fire.
For sure.
Yeah.
Right. And Andrew, man, like we could start talking about ideas for your show too on the live, because you can start getting some tips on things you might not be thinking of right now because you are a great talker. Yeah, and I think that's a strength you have for the podcast you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And Hillbilly, maybe when he wants to start doing stuff, I need to work on a couple projects for Hillbilly. I remember, but I'm kind of gonna be busy today.
I really enjoyed watching Hillbilly do his pre-release stuff. That was cool.
Oh, not pre-release. Well, it's kind of pre-release, but
yeah,
what is
early access.
Early access.
Early access.
Early
Yeah.
access.
Yeah. 12 hours. Not as long length of time he's streamed, but damn.
Longest I've done was 15.
Your butt must have been asleep. You got up and you couldn't walk straight.
Yep, that's why I had to stop.
Yeah. Oh.
Plus, I can't have caffeine too.
Tybalt's someone I know who likes to make good thumbnails. And I say that because I'm not the only person in the world who makes thumbnails, right?
Yeah.
If I always try to cheap myself out. Because like usually I have a basic thumbnail and I make some AI generated thing that I can copy paste to
Mhm.
do something like with the devil today. And you
Yes.
know what? Tabal is a devil, and you learning to stream's kind of been devilish, you know.
Yes, it has.
But it's awesome because you have a good
20
attitude about it, you know.
Well,
And I
I
think
try to.
as long as we have a good attitude about it, it's not a problem at all. I
Right.
mean, you're the special guest, so you're bringing the special effects.
If only. I'm thinking about this, how you talked about bringing it back around to the topic of being accidental as far as this goes. I find that I've used everything that I've learned in all my jobs along the way. A
Mhm.
lot of this stuff, I worked for a number of years in a photo lab and stuff back before everything went digital, or as everything went digital. I got out right about that time, but that got me into using Photoshop. So I've been using Photoshop, and now with the AI generating tools and stuff, it's been just become easier and easier to do this stuff. But
Right,
I
yeah.
found that all of that stuff led from one thing to the other. Initially, like I said, with my ex and I were still into magic, I held a couple of my own tournaments.
Mhm.
This was a little bit more like Wild West type stuff where anybody was doing anything. There wasn't as many organized events.
Hmm.
So I rented a hotel room, had 25, 50 people come in, just gave prize money or some cards here or there.
Right.
But I started doing a newsletter. And that got me into writing a little bit. That got me into doing a little bit of artwork. It got me into Photoshop.
Ooh.
Then that actually kind of got me the job in the photo lab in the digital department. So all of those things add and build together and stuff, and pretty soon, like I said, you're lucky enough to find that you're taking your hobby and doing a little bit more with it each time.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of feel you in one department because like I went to Job Corps for graphic design,
Hmm.
and the graphic design was basically learning Illustrator and Photoshop.
Yep.
You know, two main programs.
For sure.
But by the time I got done with it, because I went to Job Corps for about 2 years, as soon as I got out, the industry for graphic design was basically dying from a corporate
Yeah.
breed
Yeah.
to you can do this at home and do a home business breed, and that was a very difficult transition. And Stasis Orb, I don't know if you even had a cooking job since you stopped working at your last restaurant that we known for you to work at, because he got a culinary arts degree.
Oh,
Cool.
okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
I mean, I didn't get fat for no reason. Okay.
It was for a
So
good
it's Stacy
cause.
Zorb's fault. Okay.
Yeah. It was-
Nice.
Well, no. Like some people will be like, "Oh, you got a culinary arts degree. Ooh, what you can cook?" Hey, there's a difference in how culinary arts professionalism makes food compared to a regular Joe. I mean,
Mhm.
this motherfucker here made me like what I call like a $12 omelet, which was
Wow.
just a freaking omelet with a couple vegetables on it and some cheese. And I'm like, dude, the way he cooked this tastes amazing. I paid
Awesome.
$12 for this.
I mean, that's fair. Yeah, I don't know. I just really enjoyed cooking. It was a big passion of mine, and then I got into the field, and then I was like, maybe I don't want to be in this field. Maybe I like cooking for myself and friends, but not for people. No, it wasn't that bad. It's just the direction life kind of went. When I started getting into the competitive scene of cooking, because it is excruciatingly competitive and you have to dig your way through a lot of rut just to get somewhere. And yeah, it never did. I couldn't take it anymore. It was stressing me out too much, and I was just starting to lose my sanity that I had to just stop. But all the skills and everything I've learned, I still have it. I food I make is absolutely delicious from what everybody tells me. But I worked in so at Job Corps, they had the second portion of the culinary training was bakery, and they were a from scratch bakery. So we didn't have any machines like that process things or anything like that. It was all done by hand from scratch. And once I got my training through the baking section, and then I went into I decided to work for a bakery, and I started getting more and more hands on. And come to find out, I actually really really love baking. I actually chose baking. I choose baking
Oh.
over cooking any day,
Nice.
and I bake all kinds of stuff. So, and that was kind of. But like I said, I liked it more for myself and not for
A profession.
yeah, not for a professional. Although I will say I did own my own bakery in California. After I want to say after Derek left, was it around that time? Might have been. I don't know because I ended up going back to California. I had to go help out some family, and my friend who opened up a cafe in California was like, hey, do you want to come work for me and help me, because I had the certifications and everything to allow him to cook food. And so he's like, you can run the food side of it and I will run, and then he'll run the cafe side of it. So I ended up doing that, and we had a whole lower basement that wasn't really being used at all. And I told him, I'm like, dude, get a couple mixers, get a decent oven. Let's load it all downstairs, and then I will have fresh baked goods every day.
Nice.
Oh, by doing that, he was like, "All right, are you like fully dedicated?" He was like, "Yeah." I mean, he was a very good friend of mine, so he's like, "Good, because I'm gonna make you part owner." And I was like,
Wow.
"Oh." He's like, "Yeah, you're gonna be part owner of the business, and you're just gonna run the bakery side of things, and then just make sure that we have baked goods every day or whatever." And apparently, a lot of people really liked what I was baking. That um, we started doing catering orders like this lady came up to us. She's like, hey, I run a golf club down the street. We have about 50 to 60 members that show up weekly. I'm wondering if you can make a batch of all your stuff, and then we'll pay for it and everything like that. So it worked out. That was awesome, but very stressful for me because
Sounds like a lot of
making,
pressure.
yeah, making a lot of pastries, cookies, cakes for just for the cafe as well as this group, because it's such a large group. And then they passed that information, they relayed that to one of the like offices, and one of their guys came to our cafe and was like, hey, are you willing to cater to my business? And I was just like, sure, yeah. I was young and wasn't quite prepared for stuff like this, but I was figuring it out.
You don't want to
And
turn it down though either when they get an opportunity
for sure,
like that.
yeah. I mean,
you think.
the pay is what saved us. I bailed us out pretty heavily because we weren't quite making money yet, but luckily my baking came through clutch and helped us keep the doors open a little longer.
Nice.
But as I was just doing that, I did that for about 7-8 months, and then we ended up having to close doors, unfortunately, because we had a really really bad employee, and we didn't realize it. We didn't catch it in time, because this is the first time any of us have dabbled in business owning and stuff like that. So I learned a lot from this job, or from this ownership. But I will say, like, we had an employee that he would take people's orders. So we had a really cool advanced system for the time, where if you had an account with us, because you can set up an account, because we were also a LAN center, so we had computers in back that people would pay for hours and stuff like that. And if you were a member of our accounts, you could order food off of your account. So basically, it's like a deposit. Like it's like you deposit X amount of money in your account, and then you can order food right from your computer, and we'll bring it out to you.
Wow.
The cook tells the person running the food out, hey, this is for this table, this is for, or this number, this number, this number. You have to click confirm on the computer to let them know, or to tell the system that yes, they got their food, remove their credits. And the window's only there for about 30 seconds. So if you don't click anything, it goes away completely. So he would grab the food, take it to the table, and completely forget to click OK. And so he was giving out all this food for free. And after about 3 or 4 months of this incident happening, we were like down like almost $78,000.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah,
Ouch.
so we had to try and recover from that, but there was no, it was too late at that point. We weren't making enough money and we weren't able to recover, and we ended up having to shut it down.
Ah, it
Mm.
really sucks.
Yep.
Right. Like I can see where if it was a mobile phone thing, that you had carried, dropped it off, clicked your phone. Oh, that could have probably made a change in effort, but I wish you would have caught that earlier. Yeah, but very big, important lesson learned indeed.
For
Yep.
sure.
Time capsule. Hello. Welcome. But you know what? That's more experience for you. I mean, I'm glad you walked out of it unscathed, pretty much.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know, but that's some good experience. I never had that kind of experience. I don't have those epic stories, those dark details, those things to draw people in like you do. Plus, you're just a really good talker.
I appreciate it.
Oh man, but yeah, but since we started a little late and whatnot, I want to go on a little bit longer if you're okay with that.
Sure,
Just
absolutely.
just so
Yeah.
Paul can have more a little more time to
A little more
shine,
love. A little more
a little
love
more
from you
love.
guys.
Poor guy, poor guy. He needs a doggy treat. Where's the
You know,
dog?
if I wasn't so upset when they pass, that's my worst problem. I love animals, but like I don't want them because I hate when they pass. That's my
Yeah.
problem. I get too attached.
Well, no, it's true. We've had guinea pigs that we adopted at their late ages, like because they're rescues. You
Yeah.
know, we got attached to them. They all passed. We had a bird that ended up passing, a parrot that was annoying as fuck, but loved to
But
death.
you miss them afterwards, huh?
Yeah, his name was Homer because he lived with a bird that pecked him bald, and he was
Oh,
a bellied parrot, which he had orange feathers, green tail.
wow.
So I named him Homer because he reminded me of Homer Simpson because you know how birds' bodies are; they look kind of
Yeah.
fat. so
Nice.
so he was the most annoying thing ever. But like after a while, he just learned to cuddle with me and all that jazz.
Nice.
Yeah, it was weird for a bird. It was the first and last bird I plan on owning.
Gotcha.
They're expensive. So are guinea pigs. All right,
Yes.
guinea pigs might look cute, but man, it's so expensive to even feed a guinea pig.
Yeah.
And they eat better, and that makes it harder for us to eat because we were eating scraps compared to them. I mean, they have to
Yeah.
eat fresh vegetables and stuff all the time, and here we are saving this fresh vegetables for the guinea pigs, and we're eating like like some dinner pizza that you put in the oven. That's pretty bad.
Well, you
Not that
needed
horrible.
Stasis Orb to cook for you.
Oh,
You just need to invite him over more so he can cook for you.
right? Yeah, come back from Indiana.
Okay, all right. I'll cook for everybody. Deal. Have a huge barbecue.
Nice.
Oh, dude, no, that Andrew is a hell of a good cook. That's the only
And
reason
they,
why we keep him around,
I love me some good old barbecue.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. If that'd be cool if one day we could like find a place to meet up and do a barbecue like that, that'd be neat.
Yep.
But
That would be
that'd be like
awesome.
way in the future kind of thing. But
Yeah,
no,
for
so really quick, because Andrew is going to want to learn some of this stuff about YouTube. What are some of the processes you go through, Tybalt, when it comes to putting together videos?
So, so the biggest thing that I've had, like I said, I had for a while I was doing this stuff with well, now it's going to sound like product placement, but I
You're
don't.
good.
I'm not sponsored by anything. But I used to do this stuff in Photoshop and stuff. That took a lot of time. But I found um, I was lucky enough that a local game shop let me film there at
Mhm.
their place, and they had a studio in the back that they rented out occasionally.
Uh-huh.
So they let me go ahead and film back there when nobody was using it. So I wanted to go a little bit further. Like you said, you take these little baby steps or whatever, and pretty soon you find out that you're doing this more professionally. But I bought a 10 by 12 green screen to throw up in the back.
Mhm.
And so I started doing that. And about the time I got that green screen, though, I came across this program called Wondershare.
Ooh.
And it was like $60. And they promised at that time, get back to that in a second, that they didn't charge for updates or
Mhm.
anything. So when I got in, it was maybe like a Wondershare 9 or something like that or whatever.
Right.
But it had automatically just like a one touch chroma key, one
Uh-huh.
touch green screen. So I could just hit one button and like it would take out the background completely because I had the green screen there, and it made it just super easy for editing.
Mhm.
So I got that next. So when I do videos, uh, I'm able to do this, or now I've got a green screen here, just a small round green screen. I'm pointing to it, and I just realized that I
Right.
took the background out, so you don't see it now. But but anyhow, so I got to it, and I just added step by step, just one piece at a time. Um, my process, you know what I mean, just got one thing after the other, and somewhere along the line, I'm not even sure how I got it, but I got a program that automatically captures my games in Arena, all of them. I
Yeah.
mean, as long as it comes on or whatever, it records everything. Because I used to have to sit down and plan out a game like, okay, I'm going to film this right now. I'm going to use the Wondershare program because you can capture from your screen. So I used to do that and set it up, and I'd be playing, and like sometimes it doesn't go well. You know what I mean? You got a deck you think is going to work great. It works great in playing it, and then you get on the ladder or whatever, and you find you get crushed.
Right.
So it's like, oh man, this is terrible. I wish I had done the game 5 games before this that I won every single time. But as soon as I turn the camera on, I get nothing. You know, I mean, I get losses or whatever. So somewhere along the line, I downloaded this program, or it attached itself to my computer, whatever. But it started recording all of my games.
Oh wow.
So now I can just jump on and start playing. And if something spectacular happens or whatever, I can cut that video out, or I can go back and save that portion, and then just what I mean, start working my magic from there. I'll take Wondershare and cut something out of here, or I'll add some graphics from there, or whatever. But I got to say, the reason that I can do this is because I'm working towards disability at this point. I got hurt
Right.
on the job, so I have the time to do this. So that's something else too, that when people get into this, they don't realize how much time and effort it can take, and how much of your day it can suck up if you're trying to do this and stuff. So that's why, like, my wife helping me has been a huge help. Like, she's taking care of my Instagram for me, and keeping me current on there.
Right.
So, but I mean, slowly you expand your circle too. Once you find, you'll find people out there that are willing to help and stuff. Love the idea of helping other people do this stuff, and not that I'm that great or whatever, my stuff's that good, but I find that the best things come out of helping other people and stuff, really.
It's true. Because like I've learned that from my own experience, not only helping people with different little logos or whatnot, but
Mhm.
like sometimes you get something new from helping someone too, like
For sure.
something new from your skill set. Like my
Yeah.
wife is planning on starting her channel, but I'm going to be her thumbnail maker. I'm going to be her editor, so that's going to be a big process for her because she's a worker. I don't work. I'm a stay at home.
hmm
So I'll have the time the day, and she plans on uploading at least once a week, hopefully once a week for the starting of it, because
Right.
that's doing everything everywhere. But I'll be able to start teaching her the things she wants to know, and the
Right.
things to get on her feet. And Stasis Orb here, he's a quick learner. He's always been a quick learner. He's been able to pick things up quick. Like
What do
he'll.
I was gonna say, what are you looking to do, Stasis Orb? I heard you say podcast or whatever. You thinking just video podcast? Or?
Yeah, just do like a video podcast, and I have a couple of really good friends that I think would be like really cool guests to have. Obviously, they're going to be have them on different times or whatever and whatnot, but um, and as well as sometime down the line, maybe do some magic videos or something like that, just to kind of not have to do the whole podcast thing all the
Right.
time. But I heavily think that like I like to tell stories, so it's
That's
just one of
very
those things
true.
that's really
So
works
that's what I
out.
was gonna say. Are
Yeah.
you? What's your topic that you're gonna be on, or are you just gonna be yourself, just doing a
I have
vlog?
not gotten that far yet. I'm far from that right now.
So I'm gonna say, so plan that out first, get an idea,
Mhm.
and then understand it's not gonna be anything that you just expected.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because
It
once
never
you
is.
get on,
It never will be.
yeah, you'll
Right.
find that you're going to branch off in one direction or another. You're going to have a plan that's going to be stuck to, like, all right, I got my line. I know exactly where I'm going to go. You're going to go here and there, and you'll
Mhm.
find what works.
Yeah.
But yeah, no matter
Yeah,
how much
you'll
planning goes involved, something's
right.
going to happen.
Yeah, YouTube will give you a personality of your own. And it sounds weird saying that, but it does that. Like
Yep.
you have your own personality now, and you know who you are. You know what you're good at, and basically you'll get on YouTube. You'll guide the way where you want to go on YouTube, but YouTube will shape you into a personality of YouTube, like a Andrew YouTube personality,
Even if it's selling at Krispy Kremes.
right? Krispy Kreme.
No, thank you.
I was gonna say, yeah, we're talking to an actual baker as opposed to somebody just processing this stuff.
Right?
Yeah, and I don't mind. A lot of people love Krispy Kreme. I have nothing against them. They're just really, really sweet. I can't do much sugar stuff anymore, if at
Right.
all. It's I can maybe eat, so those like little frosted sugar cookies, those like really soft ones that you get from the store. That
Yeah.
have like that half-inch layer of icing on them. I have to
Yeah.
remove the icing from those every time before I eat them. I can't eat that.
Yeah,
Sweet.
those are nasty cookies. Anyways, they just turn to powder in your mouth and just break in and choke you, and try to kill you.
I think Derek's suffering from some PTSD. I feel.
well, there was a company in Utah that sold those kind of cookies and made those kind of cookies like a factory. And people said if you saw these like farmhouse cookies or whatever brand it was, they're like,
Loft
don't
House.
eat them. Yeah, Loft House. Yeah, they're like, don't eat it. I think people were just making crap up. But no, their cookies never been good to me. Like when it comes to cookies, I just stick to Oreos and chocolate chip and dip them in milk or something.
Love me some Oreos.
All right. Well, it is a certain time of the day. We went 11 minutes overtime, but I've actually got some stuff to do. So I have to let you go. I wanted to give Tabalt some more time to talk and whatnot as much as I can because you know what? This dude is awesome and I want him on again whenever he can. Same with Stasis
Thank
Orb.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You guys have an awesome day. Hillbilly, thank you for showing up as always.
Dumb.
Thank you everybody for chat. Thank you for liking the video. Whoop whoop. And if you're new to the
Whoop, whoop.
channel, please subscribe. Don't forget to check out carnzotopia.com for your MTG swag and have a wonderful evening.